Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Confluence Cast presented by Columbus Underground. We are a weekly Columbus-centric podcast focusing on the civics, lifestyle, entertainment, and people of our city. I'm your host, Tim Fulton. This week, in anticipation of this fall's election, the Confluence Cast is endeavoring to introduce Columbus voters to the 12 council and 2 mayoral candidates in their own words. Perhaps no candidate running for city council this November is better suited to talk about safety, crime, and police reform in Columbus than Adrienne Hood. Her son, Henry Green, was shot and killed by the Columbus police in 2016. Hood is running for Columbus City Council District 4 in what could be considered one of the most hotly contested local races this November. In our interview, Hood talks about her background, concerns about the increasing cost of living in Columbus, and much more. You can get more information on what we discussed today in the show notes for this episode at theconfluencecast.com. Enjoy the interview. Sitting down here with Columbus City Council candidate Adrienne Hood. She's running for District 4 on Columbus City Council. Ms. Hood, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Nice.
Let's start off. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to your candidacy.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. For one, I am a Columbus native. Grew up, for the most part, in Linden.
Okay.
My family still owns a home that I came home from the hospital
Okay.
to, off of 23rd in Cleveland. My mom moved around a lot, but my grandmother has always been that constant for me. And so for the most part, grew up in the Linden area. Went to and graduated from Columbus City Schools.
Okay.
Shortly thereafter, I joined active duty Army.
Okay.
And did that for 3 years. Did a break of service, came back home, ended up joining the Air Force Reserves.
Okay.
Because I got smart. I'm going to use my mind and not my body per se.
Okay.
And so I finished my career in the Air Force Reserves and retired in December of 2020, actually.
Okay.
I have 3 children. My blessings, my heartbeats, my motivation for when I want to give up. They have always been that. And now I have 4 beautiful grandchildren, 3 girls and 1 boy. I asked God, what did I do to get 3 girls in this time and age? But they are blessings for me nonetheless. And how I got here was from a very tragic entryway. Into the public eye.
Okay.
And that is my son, Henry Green. The 5th was killed by 2 plainclothes police officers that work for Columbus Division of Police.
Okay.
And in advocating for him, I learned so much that was not okay with me within the police department, but then also understanding and realizing how there are many entities that are connected that I didn't realize were. And the importance of policy is what really got my attention. And that is what has brought me to this place and space at this time.
Okay. And that serves as a good transition to the next topic, which is what are the issues that Columbus is facing?
Ooh, lots.
Okay.
Columbus, I've always said that Columbus, to me, has always been slow enough to raise a family, fast enough to have things to do for your family. What I did not understand or realize is that there's also an underbelly to Columbus, and if you oftentimes are Black, brown, or poor, you get to see those things a lot more upfront and personal, which is very unfortunate. Affordable housing, we know that that is something that is striking to everyone, no matter what walk of life you come from. But there are disparaging numbers when it comes to affordable housing, when it comes to police accountability, when it comes to mental health access and services. We tend to, the Black community, Black, brown, and poor communities, tend to see and feel the brunt of the lack thereof of those. And public education, like I said, I graduated from Columbus City Schools. Things have definitely changed. I worked for the district for 11 years. I seen some of that change, and much of it has been disheartening to me as far as preparing our children for their tomorrows. And so those are the things that are like near and dear to me, though there are, I'm sure, when you have conversation with many people, you hear different facets of that. But nonetheless, all of those areas to me are interconnected.
Okay. Talk to me about how your campaign's gone up to this point and how you feel about the new districting system that we're in.
Yeah. So as you know, this is the first year that we're doing districts. So we have 9 in the city. Honestly, the only thing that has been district related was collecting signatures to get on the ballot.
Right.
That has been district specific. Outside of that, the race really is a citywide race. So you have to get support from, across the city. And so I've looked forward to the continuing of interacting with the community. I do that in so many different capacities. So that part has, it's been good. I am not the endorsed candidate. And so with that comes its own challenges as far as the finances are concerned, as far as, having campaign literature and access to even media and things like that. But I feel like I have been called to be in this space. And so that's what I continue to keep my focus on.
Okay. Talk us through why folks should vote for you as a candidate.
Many reasons.
Okay.
I am a veteran, right? And so I know the life of a veteran. I know the things that we should have access to, and sometimes we don't. Not necessarily because the resources aren't there. Sometimes it's just about not knowing that the resources are available. And so I think that we definitely can do a better job of communicating those things out. I am a mother. I am a mother who loves passionately. And, living in Columbus and being a single parent, unfortunately, I did go through a divorce. And it was very challenging for me. But my children kept me going in the times when I really felt like giving up, and that, for what? What am I doing all of this for? And they kept me going. And so understanding the struggles of how and when you're going to pay bills, because we still have to eat, right? My children still need clothes, and just juggling life and having those life experiences. I can relate to so many things. Drugs at one point in time devastated many members of my family, and so I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like from a parent-child relationship, and then even just as having a family member be drug addicted, and then also having that typically is a segue into the criminal justice system and seeing what, that looks like even after you've paid your debt to society, so to speak. You are forever sentenced. And many of the things as far as access is concerned, access to education, access to housing, access even to a job that has a livable wage, right? And so all of those things I have seen up close and personal and dealt with personally to some extent. And because of that, I take all of me into the decision-making process when it comes to serving the members of our community. And so I think that I am a good candidate for those reasons and beyond. And I'm just a servant leader. So I'm always going to serve. I will always find a way to be involved in the community. And that is what makes me a good candidate.
Got it. I just wanted to see if there's anything else that you wanted to make sure you covered today.
Yeah, like I said, I think that Columbus has a lot of opportunity and potential, right? And we're seeing that in a lot of ways. We're growing. Growing. I was just at an event last week that Councilwoman Shayla Favors did at Columbus State, and the projection in Columbus for growth by 2050 is 3.1 million. And so we have to figure out, where everyone is going to go and what that looks like respectfully for the members of our community. And the affordability thing, that's troublesome to me. The more I learn and understand about it, it's like we have to pull the reins in a little bit and figure out, what that's going to look like for us. I truly believe that everybody, deserves to be safe, regardless as to what area you come from, what neighborhood you live in. Of course, safety is going to look different, depending on what area you do live in, and equitable access to, safety and the services that are connected to that are just as important. And so I think that we are doing a good job, and as far as opportunities are concerned. Where we continue to fall short is who has access to those opportunities. And so we have to do a greater job at that if we want our youth and teen and youth violence to go down. We have to address that, in a real way, and not just dump money in organizations that are supposed to provide services to different members of the community. There are a lot of grassroots organizations that, because they don't have the years in certain spaces and the many requirements that are required to get access to the funds, they continue to not be able to serve as many people as they should. And so I think that we definitely have to look broader than we are in order for Columbus to be healthy and whole.
Okay. I end every interview by asking two questions. First of all, what do you think Columbus is doing well? And what do you think Columbus is not doing so well?
And I appreciate that. So again, the opportunities that they're providing, the opportunities that, now our students that graduate from Columbus schools get to go to Columbus State, for free, which I don't know about you, but I know I have student loan debt.
I do.
And so, that's an awesome thing. What we aren't doing so well, because I can go on and on about, what I see as far as, things that that I see that Columbus is doing well. But again, I feel like we definitely can be doing a better job at affordability. We definitely can be doing a better job around teen violence and the things that we provide for our youth. in order to, get them engaged and get them prepared for their tomorrows. So, with our young people being our future, one of my girlfriends says, actually, they're not our future, they're our today.
Yeah.
And, so we have to do the things that we need to in order to prepare them for our tomorrows, because that touches every single point and place of our community. So I think that we definitely can be doing a better job around that. And so, public education, the affordable housing, and just accountability all the way around.
Yeah.
Elected officials or, and beyond, the leaders in the community. Accountability is necessary for us to do the great things that Columbus is capable of.
Absolutely. Ms. Hood, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Confluence Cast presented by Columbus Underground. Again, you can get more information on what we discussed today in the show notes for this episode at theconfluencecast.com. Please rate, subscribe, share this episode of the Confluence Cast with your friends, family, contacts, enemies, your favorite activist. If you're interested in sponsoring the Confluence Cast, get in touch with us. We can be reached by email at info@theconfluencecast.com. Our theme music was composed by Benji Robinson. Our producer is Philip Cogley. I'm your host, Tim Fulton. Have a great week.